What is going on, Red and Black Nation? Welcome back to the only channel on YouTube that talks about Flamengo in English. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, or comment. Share this with someone who loves Flamengo and speaks English, or someone who speaks Portuguese and want to learn some English. Let's get right into it. Felipe Luis and José Boto are still in Portugal. I believe they will be back before the first game on the 11th, I believe, of January for the Rio Cup. Even though the U20 team are gonna start the few games, so the main team could rest, and then the main team won't play until I believe the following week, so the 18th of January. So they'll have like an extra 3 weeks to on vacation and to chill, I guess. But as far as like rumors and transfers, you have Emerson Royale that came from Milan. Other teams from Europe wants to are asking Flamengo about information on him if they want to sell him or not. And then Carrascal as well, the Colombian. He is also being looked at from clubs from Europe, and Flamengo said it's pretty much up to the players if they want to leave Flamengo or not because they're still in contract. So Flamengo will say yes only if the players agree with leaving Flamengo. But those two, I know Emerson Royale is not as good as like Carrascal. So I think Felipe Luis could not use Emerson Royale and maybe sell him and then get some money from him and buy someone else that's better than him. And then Carrascal, I think he's a great player. I feel like we could use him still because he is that replacement for Arrascaeta if something does happen to him. And last year in 2025, I feel like Carrascal had a great year and he balled out and helped Flamengo win several trophies. And I think we should keep him in the team because I feel like Felipe Luis will use him a lot this upcoming season. And there is talks that Flamengo pretty much wants to compete for every major trophy. We're trying to get the triple, which is the Brazilian triple, which is the Copa do Brasil, which is the Brazilian Cup, the Libertadores, which is like the Champions League of South America, and then the Brasileirão, which is like the Brazilian League. So we're trying to get all three of those. Plus, maybe the Carioca, which is the Rio Cup. Maybe we get that as well. But the three main ones is those three I just said: the Copa do Brasil, Libertadores, and the Brasileirão. So with those three main um, competitions, Flamengo's trying to pretty much have two separate teams, um, full of just the best players. Of course, they're gonna have like an A team and a B team, but the B team will most likely play like Copa do Brasil, which is like last on the list as far as like winning. I feel like the first is like Libertadores, and then Brasileirão, which is the Brazilian league. So it's like the Champions League, Brazilian league, and then the Brazil Cup. But I feel like A team will kind of play for the um, Libertadores and the Brazilian league, and then the second team is going to play for like Copa do Brasil. Or if they play, a lesser known team in Brazil and for the Brazilian league, then they'll play with the second team just to give those guys from the first team like some rest. But we have enough players that are good enough to be, all on the first team. But Felipe Luis did want to keep like two separate teams to play separate um, championships or competitions for the next year or this year for 2026. But no talks about Caio Jorge yet. Um, Flamengo sent the offer, and Cruzeiro has still not said anything. And Gabigol, which is one of our idols, he is going back to Santos, and he's going to be playing with Neymar. Neymar is not coming to Flamengo. Those rumors are put to rest. Santos renewed with Neymar until the end of 2026. And then Gabigol, Gabriel Barbosa from Cruzeiro is pretty much going on a loan to Santos and play with Neymar. And then Cruzeiro is going to pay some of the salary for Gabigol so he could be in Santos and play there, because Cruzeiro doesn't really want Gabigol because their coach doesn't really like him. So that's about it. I'm not going to talk about Gabigol here on this channel. This was the only time, unless there's like something going on with Flamengo and him, and Neymar as well. Those two are pretty much not coming to Flamengo, so I'm not going to be talking about them anymore unless it involves Flamengo somehow. But yep, that's about it. That's all I have. Appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and comment. Share this with someone who loves Flamengo and speaks English, or someone who speaks Portuguese and want to learn some English. I'm out. Peace.